Chick. Today we are making blueberry wine. It's early May in eastern North Carolina, and that means blueberry season is almost here. Usually it's towards the later part of May. But I have blueberries on my blueberry bush, and I thought, So today I've got slightly over 5 pounds of blueberries. You only really need 4 to 5 pounds, but I wasn't going to put back like, a quarter of a pound of blueberries, So they're just going in the bucket. A little extra blueberry ain't going to hurt nobody, right? Now, you'll probably recognize this recipe. It's very similar to what my strawberry wine recipe was, but I'm changing it up just a little bit. Of course, it's made with blueberries, not strawberries. So, let's go ahead and get this cracking. Of course, everything has been sanitized in my Star San. And so, the first thing I have is the sugar. Now, with this recipe, I'm doing 3 pounds of sugar. 1 pound of it is going to be brown sugar, though. I think the brown sugar and the blueberries will be kind of like a nice little flavor kick to it. So 2 pounds of white sugar, 1 pound of brown sugar. And I'm going to pour some hot water over this to get the sugar dissolved. And then it's going to go in the bucket over the blueberries. And then we're going to mash them, put some extra stuff in, and then we're on our way. Okay? So, this was just recently boiled. It's just, I don't know how much that is. Probably like not even half a gallon. I don't know how much it is. It's enough to dissolve the sugar. Woo! Hot. I have to spill something, In every video, it seems I spill something. It's usually the sugar, but this time it was hot boiling water. Go figure. All right. So, it's going to be nice and sweet. Now, blueberries are not typically a sweet fruit. So, that's why I'm using 3 pounds of sugar. We can always sweeten this back up again after the fermentation if we think it needs to be a little bit sweeter. But 3 pounds is a good start. Now, if you're making this with any other fruit, you can go ahead and almost the same proportions, I guess. So, 4 to 5 pounds of fruit, about 3 pounds of sugar, and then the 1 gallon of water, and of course your yeast is your basic, fruit wine recipe. So if you had, I've never done peaches, and I've heard peaches are kind of hard to do. I don't get it, but I might try that just to see. But peaches, cherries, you can do nectarines, you can do just almost any kind of fruit if you want to. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. I'm not a fan of raspberries, but, you could do a mixed fruit combination of strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries. Ooh, that sounds good too. Any combination. And then, about 3 pounds of sugar, and then, of course, the water and the yeast. So I'm just showing you the method. You can change this up if you don't want to do blueberries. All right, I think the sugar is pretty much dissolved. Makes it easier than trying to dissolve it in that big bucket with berries floating all over the place. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I've got my trusty little bucket again. This is it's about a 2 gallon bucket. We're only doing 1 gallon, but we do need room for the fruit to go into and kind of macerate. Because once again, we're going to put the fruit in, the sugar, the yeast, everything in, and let it sit for 7 to 10 days, stirring it up once or twice a day, or, sloshing the bucket to keep the fruit wet so mold doesn't grow on it. And then after that time frame, we're going to do a rough rack and put the rest of the liquid into a proper demijohn. Same procedure as the strawberry wine, but with blueberries. So let's get these blueberries cracking. I still have a little bit of ice in here, but most of them are defrosted. But with the hot water, they'll warm up quite right away. And there is some liquid in there, so go ahead and toss that into, because that's what we're trying to get is the liquid. Alrighty. And then the store-bought berries. Open that up and just toss them in as well. So you could do all store-bought frozen fruit if you wanted to. So I'm not saying you don't have to. All right, let's get that out of the way. All right. Wow. That's a full bucket. It's going to be good though. All right, so let's go ahead and pour over the, can you see me? Yeah, you can. Pour over the hot, well, yeah, it's still pretty hot. Sugar water. Looks like tea, doesn't it? Alrighty. I don't think I'm going to add any extra water at this time. When we rough rack it, I'll top off the demijohn to the 1 gallon mark. And that way, if I do end up with, enough water, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So you know what we're doing next? We mashing. So you just get your potato masher and you just want to mash the fruit. So that way it breaks it up. So it will release more juice, more flavor into the wine. This is gonna take me just a little bit. So I think I'm just gonna fast forward through this. I probably have to stand also because I'm short. So we will see you in just a little bit. Okay, I'm back, folks. That was a trial and a half. I ended up actually just putting my sanitized hands in the bucket and just squishing the blueberries. Kind of like the old stomping on the grapes kind of thing. So, that was a lot of blueberries. But I did manage to get most of them broken up. There might be 1 or 2 in there that are still solid, but that's A-okay. They'll kind of break down the longer that it goes. So, we've got some beautiful purple juice in there. I'm telling you. Woo-hoo-hoo. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to add a black tea bag. That helps with the tannins. It gives the wine some mouthfeel as well. So 1 black tea bag goes in, and I'm going to put the juice of 1 lemon as well. If I can find it. Or about 2 tablespoons worth of lemon juice. If you don't have a fresh lemon, but you got like the concentrated lemon juice in the fridge, you can still use that, or even lime juice if you got the lime juice. That might actually be pretty good, lime juice. Oh well. I added the lemon. Okay. And then I think that's it except for the yeast. So let me get that incorporated. Alrighty. Give this a good stir. Alright. So now we're going to do a specific gravity to find out where she's at, our starting point anyway. So because there's a lot of pulpiness and all that, I'm going to use a little sieve to push down, and then I'm going to get the juice out. Hopefully I can do this without spilling something. You know me. That's the way I roll. Alrighty. Woo. Let's go ahead and do this. I also got a towel on the table because I'll probably spill something. All right. she's afloating now. All right. I haven't pitched the yeast yet because that's really not gonna change the specific gravity on this quite yet. So I forgot a pen, but that's okay. I'll get it here in just a minute. So our specific gravity is, okay. So our specific gravity is 1.156. A little bit higher than I anticipated, but that's okay. It is what it is. Alrighty. So let me pour this back in. It's going to be pretty purple color, that's for sure. And then we're going to toss in our yeast, if I can find it. And I'm using a half package of the Lalvin 71B. That's my favorite, apparently, right? Because I keep using it. It's a pretty good workhorse one. It's about a 14% alcohol, 15% somewhere around in there. It brings out the fruity esters of wines, and it seems to work pretty good so far. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss in the half package. Okay. And just kind of stir that around so that gets incorporated. Alrighty. And that is it, folks, for the wine anyway. So, what will happen is we will, what I'll do is I'll keep this someplace in a fairly warm, neutral place. And every single day, I'm going to either shush the bucket, you know, to keep the fruit to stay wet so that it doesn't produce mold. If it, you know, if the fruit cap kind of stays dry, it will produce molds and stuff, and we don't want that in our wine. That's not good. So we want to keep it nice and wet, and either open it up and punch it down to keep wet, or just kind of slosh it around. Either way will work, just as long as it stays wet. And then in about 7 to 10 days, we will be back with another video for the rough rack and seeing how it goes. So until then, I'm going to put an airlock on it, label this puppy, and away she goes. So we will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. So today we are going to be making the bluer. Thought I got that out of the way, but apparently not. It brings out the fluty.